And so this kingdom that we talked about last time, that has a king, that has laws, that has a territory, that has a citizenry, is also the one that has the king who really is a king. People wanted this Messiah guy to come. Like the Jews were very anxious for the Messiah to come because they wanted to break off the yoke of the Romans. But they weren't prepared for what Jesus was coming to do. Because the people of Israel, especially the Pharisees and the leaders, they thought all the enemies were out there, right? They thought that let's let Jesus or the Messiah like take care of the Romans and then rule the world and everything will be okay, right? So they're thinking that this kingdom thing is like their glory and all the enemies are out there. But what does Jesus come and do? Jesus comes first to establish his kingdom on the inside. That's why he says it's not of this world and we don't have weapons like everybody else. And that's why he taught us in the Beatitudes, like, blessed are the poor in spirit. That's why he said to bless and not curse, to love our enemies, because he knew that he wanted and needed a people who would actually represent his kingdom before giving them the power of a kingdom. I mean, can you imagine a bunch of sinners, filled with anger and malice and power hungry? If Jesus comes and gives that group of people, all this power to rule the world, they're not going to be any different than the Romans, right? And we've seen that throughout history, that people who claim to be Christians can be some of the worst, like dictators and monarchs and so on and so forth in the world history. And that's what non-Christians point to sometimes when they talk about, like, yeah, Christians, yeah, right, I don't want anything to do with Christianity because, like, look at the Crusades and how bad those were, right? I mean, there's some good arguments there. Because when people take power as the world takes power, it creates a really bad thing. But Jesus comes, first of all, to create his kingdom inside of us where we learn to live under his law of love. Remember, his 2 commandments are love God and love one another. And so he wants his people to learn how to operate under his rule and reign inside first, so that when he comes in power, we will know how to rule and reign in grace and in love.